What's up, everybody? Welcome to Hammer Down Motorsports. My name is Steve Fast, and I hope you guys are having an amazing day today. As you can see in Pennsylvania, it is very foggy today on this Friday. So today we're going to be heading over to the dealership, and we're going to check out how much they would actually give us for this 2010 Dodge Ram in 2018. Well, December of 2018. This truck is almost 9 years old. How much are they going to give us for this truck? So let's get going. The good old Dodge Ram 1500 Laramie. I mean, this truck has been pretty good. I gotta say, for the 9 years that we've had this truck, we had only minor issues with it, and all of it was covered under warranty, because actually, when we bought this truck, if you're the original owner and you have all your service records up to date, it has a lifetime powertrain warranty, which is pretty awesome. It was an incentive that they had, and probably figured that most people that had these trucks wouldn't keep them all that long, and that warranty wouldn't last forever, because when we do sell this truck or trade it in, that warranty goes away. But all in all, this truck really didn't need a whole lot of work done to it by the dealer under warranty, but these are a few of the things that we did encounter. So the first thing we had to get fixed under warranty on this truck wasn't really even an issue for us. It was just something that was a bulletin that if the nut wasn't torqued down on the yoke for the differential in the rear tight enough, they backed off, and then I guess the bearings would fail, and I guess it would ruin the gear set and start howling or whatever. But we never had any issues with it, but they checked it and it was loose, so they ended up putting a whole new gear set in under warranty, which was nice because that powertrain warranty, I mean, obviously if you have to replace a differential, that would cost you a few $1,000s, but that was all fixed, no problem whatsoever. The other issue that we encountered was an exhaust leak at the manifold, and these Hemis are known for that. They break the exhaust studs after a while, and yeah, we had one side fixed, and then a little while later the other side went, and both were fixed under warranty, no questions asked, and didn't even really take them that long. I think it was in the shop for maybe a half a day or something like that, and they got back to us, not a big deal. Another thing that we had go wrong with it, it was throwing an engine light, and we weren't sure why, because it was just coming and going. There was really no indication on why that was. And what happened was there was a harness by the transmission that was near a skid plate or a heat shield, and it actually had rubbed through, so the wire was grounding the odd time against that heat shield. So they went in there and they kind of made some room. I guess it was just when it was put in the factory, they didn't have something routed correctly. But yeah, they fixed that wire up and haven't had that issue since. So now the things that were not fixed under warranty, because some things are considered wear items and they aren't covered under the powertrain warranty, one being the power steering pump. This truck, the power steering pump didn't fail, it just kind of started making ugly noises, and every time it started up, it was really kind of annoying. I mean, the truck sounded like it was coming apart with that pump just starting to fail. So I ended up going to the dealership, buying a brand new pump, brand new reservoir, everything, cleaned all the fluid out of it. I did have a video on that, so I will put a link to that if you guys are interested in doing a DIY replacement on your power steering pump for your 2010 Dodge Ram Hemi. I did a video on that one. So we did end up fixing the power steering pump. It's been good ever since. Another issue that we did run into was something with the infotainment system, and I don't really listen to CDs. I usually plug in my phone, and this truck actually has an iPhone adapter, which is now for the old iPhone, so you can't even hook a lightning cable into it unless you have an adapter, which is kind of a hassle, so I don't really bother with that. I just kind of use a satellite radio. But my wife still listens to CDs, and it would always start skipping at like the higher number on a CD. It was something to do with the CD player. It's not working right. I mean, it was doing it when it was still under warranty. We probably should have taken it back at that time. Now warranty is over, and powertrain warranty is not going to cover a radio, so we kind of got to live with that. But that was something that we did encounter. So really, all in all, for having this truck for 9 years, we've really not encountered anything really major, and so I can say that the ownership experience for 9 years on this truck was pretty good. All right, we are at the Dodge dealership. Just for comparison's sake, we are parked next to the new Ram Rebel. Now, this is kind of the answer to the Raptor, but it's more or less kind of more so like a Z71 Chevy. It's not like the full off-road like the Raptor is, but also the price reflects it. And, you know, with this new front bumper, I don't really mind it all that much. I think it looks better than your standard model, which is this one right here. So now give me your opinion in the comment section. This is our new Ram Laramie front end, and this is our 2010 Ram front end. And honestly, I think this one is a little nicer looking than this one. I mean, it does have better technology. You've got the better headlights and everything like that, but I just don't like the whole shape of everything here. It's just not really truck-like for me. But with that being said, you move over to a solid colored truck and the game totally changes. Now that whole chrome line and everything with the Laramie kind of disappears when you have it all in one color. I mean, I really do like the way this one looks opposed to that one over there. So now you see it in black. Let's check it out in white. Now even in the white, I think with the color combination like this, it just looks so much better. I mean, obviously this one is pretty dirty just from sitting out here in the weather, but all in all, it's still a decent looking truck. But this one sits so incredibly low. I mean, let's do a comparison here. Okay, I'm standing here, the hood is down here. I'm just gonna kind of move over here to the mirror. So the mirror is like basically at my shoulder height. Let's go back over to the 2010 and see what the height of that one is. So over here you can see the 2010 is significantly higher. There is a 2-inch leveling kit in this truck, but I don't know if it's just the way that that truck's parked, but it seems like it's super, super low to me for some reason. But now over here in the Ram Rebel package, you can see if I stand up next to this truck, put it right about here, you know, my arm is pretty well straight out if I put my arm on top of the box. Let's go over to the 2010. And the 2010 is actually a little bit lower than the Rebel. So just for a reference, let's see what the Dodge dealership thinks the 2010 Ram Laramie is still worth today in 2018. All right, so we just got out of the dealership and they actually gave us a fairly good number for this truck. This truck in 2018, well, I guess the end of 2018, as a 2010 model with under 100,000 miles is still worth $16,500. That's what they're willing to give us on trade for this truck. So that is pretty good. I think that's a pretty good retention of value for this truck. I mean, we did really take care of it, made sure that, you know, everything got fixed on it. It doesn't need anything. And if anybody were to buy this truck, they're definitely getting a good truck in the end. So, I mean, that number I'm pretty happy with. But with that being said, I'm not really sold on the front grille of that truck, but maybe it's something I can get used to on the new Ram. So maybe we'll trade this in on a new Ram. I'm not entirely sure. We did get a price on a new Ram Limited, which is like top of the line. Like, this truck is insane. Like, honestly, the interior on that truck is nothing you would have ever expected from a Dodge. It looks like, you know, a Tesla mixed with like some fancy luxury car. Like, it's pretty intense. I mean, I really do like that interior. I love that new 12-inch screen, so might be a good option for us. But that being said, we're headed to one more dealership. So now as we're heading to the Ford dealership, you guys might be wondering, Steve, you have a Camaro, you have a pretty well Camaro channel, why aren't you going to the Chevy dealership? Why don't you want to check out the new Silverado? Well, as a matter of fact, I was already at the GMC dealership where we got the Denali, or Denali, however you guys want me to say that. I'm not really sure which one's the right one, but either way, I did get pricing on one of the new Denalis because I really do like the way that truck looks. I like the headlights, I like the grille. I pretty much like everything about that truck that I hate about the Ram, but everything that the Denali is missing, the Ram has. So interior-wise, Ram all the way. And the Ford, I mean, the Ford is kind of, all right, now I'm starting to ramble, but either way, the GMC Denali was way up there in the mid-60s, and that was just more than we're gonna budget for a truck. I mean, that's just plain and simple. I mean, we had to spend more than that on the SUV, but that's an SUV. It holds a lot of people, and I'm not really entirely sure why they charge so much for those, but we had no choice. We had to spend that money. But for a pickup truck, there should be a better deal than that, and it really wasn't that much off at all. And that's actually when I bought the Camaro, the reason why I didn't buy the Mustang, because the Mustang had like no incentives, and the Chevy was just a better deal. So that being said, that is why we are not looking at Chevys, because they just price themselves out of the market, in my opinion. And I think the interiors, although they did change a couple of things here and there, I found it to look kind of cheap. Like, I didn't really like the way the gauges were. They looked like kind of like an entry-level truck gauge, and it just didn't make me feel special. So I guess that's all really what it comes down to. So let's talk real quick about the Ford, just kind of how I'm comparing the two deals. I mean, I do know a guy at the Dodge dealership, and he always gives me a really good deal. I don't really know anybody at this Ford dealership, so I'm kind of suspecting they're going to give me like probably the run-of-the-mill deal, nothing special, and hope that I take it. So the truck that I was looking at over there is actually kind of a special edition. It's a Lariat Sport. It's kind of like a in between like a sports truck, kind of almost looks like maybe like a Raptor style a little bit. It's got the Raptor black headlights with the nice LED headlight and whatever else. It's got a black interior, and it's got like red accents, red stitching, and red and black seat belts. It's really kind of a nice looking truck, and it's got some nice stripes going on, which are, I put a post up on Instagram and people were kind of like on the fence about them, whether they liked them or not, but I think they look really cool in real life, and that's kind of what I found. You got to see the things in real life to really get an accurate depiction of what they look like. But this truck is cool. I mean, it's a Lariat Sport, so it's not like a King Ranch or a Platinum or a Raptor or anything like that. It's, you know, kind of the middle of the road as far as Ford goes. It's got the 3.5 V6, which I'm pretty impressed with the power numbers with, but I mean, you can't beat a V8. I mean, a Hemi is awesome. If there was a 5.0 sitting right next to it in the same trim level, I probably would have just gone for the 5.0 and not even considered the 6. But I mean, I was trying to keep an open mind, and I still kind of am, but as I've been driving away from the Dodge dealership, I keep thinking about that Laramie Limited, and I mean, it's not saying that we're going to get a truck necessarily right away, but this is why we're getting the numbers. We're going to consider it. That's basically what we're doing. We're considering getting rid of the Ram we've had for 9 years and getting a new truck. So I'm happy with what Dodge will give us for this truck. I mean, it is their product, so they're obviously going to not knock it down or anything like that and say, well, you know, your truck's only worth so much. But I mean, they're very fair to us, but obviously, like I said before, I do know a guy there, so he's going to treat me right. So we're going to see what the Ford dealership's going to do. If they're going to offer us like 10 grand for it, it's really going to say to everybody out there that, yeah, you should shop around when they give you a first offer on a vehicle, because there might be very big differences, but you never know. They might say the exact same thing as what Dodge said, and basically what we're going to do is put those two deals side by side, weigh the options, and see what we're left with. So here we are at the Ford dealership. Pull in here, maybe we can get a glimpse of this truck. I didn't put a hold on this truck or anything like that. It actually is a possibility this thing might be sold, but let's pull up here where it was parked. Yeah, I see it. It's still here. This one right here. Kind of hard to see the stripes. You can see them on the back, but it is a very nice looking truck. I really do like the way this one's spec'd out. So let's see what they have to say about the value of this Ram. One thing I have to show you guys, check this out. I got a Christmas Hellcat reindeer t-shirt from Dodge. So cool. All right, we got our number from Ford, and I mean, it's not terrible, but it is definitely not as much as we get at Dodge for it. So maybe this is just a comparison between trading in a Ram truck at a Ford dealership rather than trading it back in on another Ram. They might be able to give you a little bit more money at the Dodge dealership, or if we were to have a Ford, maybe trade it back in at a Ford dealership, they might give you a better price. I'm not entirely sure how that whole thing works, but either way, our price on this truck to trade it into the Ford dealership was $14,500. So a full $2,000 less. And that might be tipping the scales towards buying another Ram. I guess we'll have to see. But drop in the comment section, which truck would you choose? Would you choose the new Ford? Would you choose the new Ram? Would you choose a Chevy? Should I go look into Chevys more? I don't really know. But drop your comments in the comments section. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. And as always, keep that hammer down.